As you watch, Maeron's eyes flutter open. Not like this, escapes his lips. At the same time, vibrations ripple through the cobblestone streets, and windows of the buildings rattle violently, suggesting a profound disturbance. An unsettling prelude to a city looking to start anew. As the party looks back to Maeron, we see another profound change.
So
what do we see?
As you look at Maeron lying on the table there, saying, "Not yet, not like this." The vibrancy that the kind of auburn, autumn colors that accentuate his skin, hair, eyes, tattoos, even his clothes, starts to fade to a chill, icy white, pale white. His hair turning stark white at the roots to an icy blue. His eyebrows, the tattoos on his face change from reds and golds to silver and light blues. Even his clothes change color. And as he opens his eyes, his head just kind of looks over, expressionless, towards Washi, as Washi the paper starts to unfold and slowly turn to dust and fade away.
The day is yours. What happens now?
Have we seen you in winter form before?
Briefly, only in just the past 30 minutes or so, when you prevented me from trying to leave the temple, as my form was changing through the different seasons, just for flashes, but nothing I've been in that kind of autumn form pretty much the whole time you've known me.
Seeing you're changing to a pale color, I'd be like, holy shit, are you a vampire?
I do not believe I require blood for sustenance, but I'm not opposed to testing that theory.
Just give you a strange look. Well, glad to have you back. How you feeling?
I exist.
It was a pretty close call. You were in bad shape. And now we're broke. Well, not broke, but that was expensive.
It is my understanding.
Where do you see our bill?
It's my understanding since coming to your realm that money, much like life, is fleeting.
That's what we do. We're the money makers.
Seems like the only thing that died was his personality.
Well, and the dog.
Oh, yes, and the mutt.
Yeah, what happened to Washi?
I utilize different forms of manifestation of power He's no longer required.
Oh, it's too bad. It's starting to grow on me.
He was not a type of fungus or parasite. I do not believe that he could grow on you.
Yeah, I guess you did lose your sense of humor. I think we might have some adventure lined up. Something about some temples. Did anyone catch the details on that?
The details were from Xanthos that this place is, although new, and being called New Anthus after the volcanic eruption, much about this town, place he doesn't know, and whether or not these undead incursions have anything to do with what happened at the Point of Antera or even the graveyard that you had visited earlier. He said perhaps you could discuss or ask around the Temple District what might have happened. And as you guys are having this conversation, you feel the earthquake again and some dust from these newly built temples, kind of where the beams link together, float down, and the paladins and priests are kind of looking up, and there's a murmur outside.
You felt like an earthquake or the building shifting?
Felt like an earthquake, and the building shifted a little bit as the ground buckled beneath the city of New Anthus.
That was strange. You guys feel that?
Hard to miss.
Well, I don't want to stand inside here. Let's get outside. Oh, Randy, did you pay that priest?
Thought we paid before.
Yeah.
I thought the gold was necessary for the spell.
Yes, that is correct. You have paid.
So our bill is taken care of.
It is.
I guess I'd head out of the temple and see if there's a commotion or anything regarding the earthquake.
As you head out into the streets, there are different groups of people having conversations and somewhat shaking their head as they move from place to place. But after a few moments, the small clusters of people disperse and people move on about their day. And you wait a few minutes and no other aftershocks seem to happen.
The earthquake just seemed to be all around us, or did it feel like it was coming from a certain direction, or?
It felt like it came from the coast. Kind of a little bit of a buckle and a wave.
Well, I would suggest going towards what we think is the source.
That seems logical.
How far from the coast are we?
You're in the southeast section of the city. Probably take you 30 minutes to 45 minutes to walk there casually, or you can run there in 15 minutes if you'd like.
Are there tsunamis in this fantasy world?
Does not appear to be any worry as people go about their day.
Well, we could head over to the coast, check it out, see if we can find out anything. Does anyone need to buy anything?
At some point, I'd like to replenish my healing potion stock.
We can sell this, and I hold up the scale mail that I was wearing. Unless one of you requires it.
Not I.
I did manage to get a few coins from the gems we found on the undead. Got an extra 300 gold.
Okay, so we could, I guess, look for an armorer or some general shop to sell the scale mail.
And I think early in the day, Thalgar had stopped by one of the general stores that are between both the Merchants District and the Temple District to sell some of the older equipment that he had found, or you guys had found along the way. And you make your way back to that general store. It's just called the Nuanthus General Store, because really it's the only one that is selling any kind of goods of this nature. And you walk in and there's a person in there by the name of Thurlow. Oh, welcome back. What brings you here so soon? Oh, you brought friends. That's great.
My companion here needs to offload some armor.
Sure. Well, what do you have?
I no longer require the protection this scale mail provided me, as I have other means to protect my life. And I just slam it down on the table and stare at him like, with pretty much like eyes of death.
Well, okay, let me take a look at it. Used, but probably resell it. And he will offer you half of what it is worth.
As soon as he started talking about numbers, like, Maeron just walked away and let the party deal with it.
Well, that sounds fine to me. Not my armor.
Okay. So we have a deal. And he'll reach behind the desk and pull up a lockbox and start counting out the coin. And he will hand you, as soon as I find how much scale mail is worth.
25 gold pieces. Or it's worth
He'll
50, but
he'll hand you
25.
25 gold pieces. Pile it in stacks of 5. There you are.
I mean, that's a start on him paying us back, I guess.
Let me take out that 150 gold that I gave you last time. I have 8 silver. Scale mail.
Is there anything else that I can do for you?
Do you know where we could find some potions?
Potions. More than likely at the Temple District. So understand they've been pretty expensive with the, happenings in the graveyard and all.
Understandable. I guess we'll head that way.
And you turn on your heel and head back the direction you came. And you head back into the Temple District, and you see in front of the solitary temples, there's several temples of gods here. The more prominent one are considered Norse gods. And so you have Freya, Thor, and many of the old Norse gods with larger temples built in a Greek fashion. And out in front, you see people kind of inspecting the workers, acolytes, priests, priestesses, paladins, inspecting the structures of each of the buildings of their specific deities to see if there are any structural damages.
I guess I'd walk up to one of the acolytes and, hey, we're looking for some potions. Do you know of any place around here?
Potions. I can ask. Give me one moment, please. And his accent is a little thick. Think Skyrim, but I can't do that accent.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, let me go check it out. And check inside the temple. Give me one moment, please. And he'll walk in and come back out. No, it looks like most of the potions were either given away to the guards or given away to help heal the people. But I imagine we would be able to have some more here in 2 weeks' time or so.
Very well, thank you.
May Odin's name be with you. And he kind of hits himself on the chest.
Damn question.
Yes.
Did I get any sort of rest or anything? Or am I still...
No, you through your mystical sleep, you have leveled up to level 5.
Okay.
Or your mystical transformation, let's call it.
So with 800 gold and a curse, we can level up.
Yeah, everybody should have leveled up. I believe the party leveled up. Is that correct? Level 5?
Yep.
Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get any potions. I have one left. If you need it, I can give it to you.
Oh, it's okay. I have 3. I'm very cautious.
Sounds like we're good to go. Shall we make our way to the coast, see if there's anything going on?
Let's.
And you make your way across the city, and you hear whispered murmurs of people talking about how the tide has receded further than it has in decades. And as you approach the stretch of the rocky shoreline, difficult to reconcile the tranquil scene before you with the tales of what once stood here. Cove is a mosaic of tide pools, jagged rock, and patches of sand strewn with fragments of seaweed. And the rhythmic clack crash of waves against the cliffs fills the air, and the timeless melody that carries with it the briny tang of the sea. Gulls wheel overhead, and their crying echoes, while the receding tide reveals barnacle-encrusted stones, an occasional glint of a forgotten coin or a shard of glass. The sun hangs in the sky, casting long, golden beams across the cove, illuminating the skeletal remains of what might once have been a jetty, now little more than rotting wooden posts jutting defiantly from the water. The wind carries a chill, whipping through the natural amphitheater of stone with a mournful whistle, as though the cove itself remembers the power that once dwelt here. You are standing outside the gates, and you're facing to the west. Looks like the tide has receded from a cove just to the south of where you're at. What would you like to do?
Just in that cove?
Yes, you can tell because you see a lot of the seabirds. They're picking at the newly revealed shellfish, urchins, barnacles, crabs that cling to the rocks that have obviously been covered underwater for years.
Well, that looks promising. Let's go down there.
That looks weird.
And as you make your way amongst the rocks down the road disappears from being a cobblestone street to being an old dirt pathway with sand and limestone. You make your way towards this now revealed cove. You walk in, not to where the water would come up to your feet, as the tide has somewhat receded, as this little section of land kind of raised up a little bit. To your left, the crab is perched atop a rock, and it suddenly scuttles sideways. Its movement, jerky and frantic, and it vanishes into a crevice as if sensing something. And then the air grows really, really still, and the waves seem to dull in volume. And then you start to feel the ground shake a little bit. And then the ground beneath the damp sand quivers violently, and you hear a low rumble, almost the same sound you heard when Maeron opened his eyes the first time. And before you can react, the earth erupts with a deafening roar, sending sand and shards of rock spraying outwards. And rising from this area, a massive stone monolith pierces the sky. The structure is ancient, and its surface is scarred by centuries of salt and wind, yet unmistakably marked with intricate carvings that glow faintly with otherworldly energy. Cover this monolith. It towers over the cove. From where the earth has erupted, you see kind of a small pathway where the earth kind of splits open, and there's a little bit of a grade leading down, and just below there you can see the faint outline of a door.
Is there anything on this monolith that might be familiar to any of us? Any clues to what it might be or where it's from?
You can give me a history check, investigation check, religion check.
I will do history. $21.
That's pretty good. The hieroglyphics that you see on this monolith speaks of old Cataloyan dialect, typically spoken in the deserts of the main continent of this small place. You've heard of, or at least read, in the winter libraries of a great desert living on one of the coasts, or living on one of the continents of Anazera, where this dialect or these hieroglyphics had been frequently used on old pyramids and places from a time long forgotten.
I've read of these markings. I've seen them in a book in the Queen's Library. They're from an empire. Far from here, though. I was to believe it is one of the desert.
Desert? What the hell's it doing here?
Do places not shift and move? Is that not a common occurrence in this realm?
Do I know where the closest desert is? Or is there even a desert here?
There's not a desert here, and but you've heard of well, let me, you give me a history check and we'll see how, if they taught anything like this to you when you were in healing from your wounds in the City of Swords.
I would probably just say I don't know because I'm from the hills.
Yep. You haven't heard anything like this. In fact, this is, one of the first times you've likely heard of the Great Desert. But
yeah, I don't know about shifting around. I mean, I've never heard of a desert. And this is clearly an ocean.
It has piqued my interest. I think we should enter. And I cast Mage Armor on myself.
Yep.
Oh, so he doesn't want to die. That's good. Hey. We could probably get the best treasure if we get there first.
How big is this monolith?
It stands about 25 feet tall, and its base, it probably is 3 feet wide, and it looks like it continues down into the sand.
And this is just all in this cove where the water had receded?
That is correct. It's all along this cove where, when the monolith came up, it kind of broke apart the earth, and you can see this little path. You'd have to climb down there, but there is clearly an outline of a door down there.
Well, let's check it out.
So are you proceeding to climb down this small embankment or this crevice to get towards the area?
Yes.
Yeah, I would. With no fear.
You cautiously tread over the rubble and debris. You notice what was once the monolith's domain, shattered stones and twisted roots, all remnants of the earth it tore through on its journey towards the sun. And amidst the chaos, you find yourself standing before a stout wooden door, partially buried beneath the debris. The wood is weathered, its surface marred by deep cracks and patches of moss that hint at its age. Despite the timeward appearance, the door looks like it is stuck fast, barring your way with an unnatural strength. But its presence feels out of place, as if it has survived the upheaval of the monolith, guarding whatever lies beyond with unyielding determination. What happens now?
I'll go to open it.
All right, you can give me... I assume you don't want to. You go to open it and you push, and there's a clear handle. Looks like one of those handles, not round, but lever. And you press on the lever, and the lever click, 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 as if it's locked.
Looks to be locked.
But the wood is old. It's been submerged for some time. With a show of strength, you could likely break it down or tear it from its hinges.
I'll give it a shoulder slam.
All right, make me an athletics check.
Not good.
With a 14, you're able to push the door in. The DC was 14, and it creaks open, and then it gives way. And as it gives way, this acrid odor and gas bursts from these long closed doors. Can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
It's a trap.
Sticking with my 14.
With a 14, you're able to shrug off whatever effects this might have been. And we will switch scenes. Let me know if you can see using the party token.
Yes, sir.
I see it.
All right. As you cautiously tread over the rubble and debris, you notice the shattered stones and twisted roots. As you step into the room, that musty, acrid stench assaults your senses. The heavy odor of decay and centuries-old neglect clings in the air. The scent is so overpowering that it causes you to almost gag. The sharp tang of rot fills your nose and your throat. In the dim light, you make out the remains of what was once a grand stairwell. The stairs led upward and have long since crumbled and fallen away, leaving only a few precarious steps clinging to the wall. A haunting reminder of the tower's grandeur. The jagged, broken edges of the stone hint at the passage of time and the weight of countless years, now reduced to rubble. On the walls, two doors stand silently, one with its wooden darkened with age and marred with deep scars, the other just a few steps away from where you now stand, its iron handle cold and unyielding to the touch.
I will say that you no longer have goggles at night. Sorry.
In this room, there is a faint glow that kind of emanates from all of the different walls, casting a dim light across the scene. You look in the doors with a small, what looks like gap at the top and bottom, and there are more lights. The doors to the north are at the bottom of what looks like a 10-foot set of steps made of stone. And to your right, on the same plane, is another door. That is the door with the wooden handle to the right or to the east.
Any preferences on where we go?
I think we should check out this immediate door to our right.
You step to the door, you rattle the handle once again, and after all these years, why would somebody keep a place like this locked? But sure enough, the door lever does not budge once again.
Seems to be locked. Anyone want to do this quietly with picks, or should I just smash it?
If I had picks, I would try it, but
Quiet isn't our expertise.
You wish to enter this door?
By all means.
Then Maeron pulls out some of these tools and tries the door.
Give me a sleight of hand check. The DC for this door will be 11, and any other doors will also be 11 if they're locked, unless otherwise stated.
So I am proficient in thieves' tools.
You
Does
get
that give
advantage.
me Advantage, all right. Not very good.
You
8.
fish around and your thieves' tools bend and you feel it.
Wait, sorry. That was should be 9.
DC was 11, and so as you insert your thieves' tools, you bend and you feel them bending a little bit, but you hear the telltale sign of rust. And before your tools break, you're able to pull your thieves' tools back, and you're not able to make any advancement on this lock.
The passage of time has taken its toll on this door, like it will all of us.
I'll just laugh and I'll try and kick it in.
Okay, give me an athletics check. Yeah, easy enough as the door bursts open. From the age, it breaks in half, and one half falls away from the hinge as it looks like it pushes in and opens to the left, and it clatters on the floor.
Easy enough.
The chamber is shrouded in an eerie, otherworldly glow. The walls, slick with moisture and the grime of centuries, seem to glisten in the dim light that barely penetrates the gloom. Your eyes are drawn to large wooden tables that line either side, their surfaces worn and splintered by the passage of time. Upon 2 of these tables lie the remains of humanoids. Their bodies long since succumbed to decay, flesh rotted away, leaving only brittle bones, clothed in the remnants of tattered garments, whispering of a forgotten past. The floor beneath your feet slopes slightly towards the center of the room where a brass-coated drain sits. Once polished surface now dulled and tarnished. The air is thick with the scent of mold and dampness, clinging with the faint metallic tang of old blood that lingers in the shadows. Near the doorway, a few old buckets rest against the wall, and their sides cracked and worn. The room's ghostly glow, emanating from no discernible source, casts long shadows that dance across the walls. Heavy door looms, its wood darkened and swollen with moisture, while another door, slightly ajar, beckons with the promise of deeper, darker secrets hidden within the bowels of this place. So door is here and over here.
I guess before we go any deeper, does anyone need to do their little rituals?
Maeron just goes and stands over the corpse here and just kind of puts his face almost like a centimeter above its and just kind of examines it and looks at it silently for a while.
Would you like to give me a medicine check, or are you looking for something else?
No. He's not looking for anything. He's actually just contemplating. After a while, I guess after a moment, he'll just say, I wonder what thoughts, what aspirations this person had in life. What brought them to their end? To be lain here, forgotten, unable to enter the cycle. Shall we go forward?
Sure, if you're all ready. Probably make my way directly across the room to that door.
This one here?
Yeah.
It has the similar or same handle that the doors that you've seen on the different locations that you've gone through. Lever handle that typically would push down to open a door.
Is it locked?
You check it and the lever doesn't move. It is also locked.
I'm gonna kick this door down again.
All right. As you kick the door down, can I get a DC 14 dexterity saving throw?
Nope.
As your boot presses the door, fire from some unknown magical location kind of envelops the door quickly, but sputters out. Not obviously, it was meant to be much more potent, and you take 1 point of fire damage. Give me an athletics check for kicking the door in. DC is 14. And with that, this door, for whatever reason, has been trapped in some way, resists the kick that you have had for it, and does not break like the others. So it is either reinforced physically or magically.
Ugh. This door does not like me.
Should I try again? You seem to have been so effective with the others, but
I'll step
perhaps-
aside with my head lowered a little bit.
Would
I
you like
guess
to
I'll,
pick the lock?
try to pick the lock? Yeah.
Okay. DC is 11, sleight of hand. Thieves' tools give you advantage. Easy enough. Similar to the previous lock, these locks are probably all the same, or built by the same locksmith, and you remember the struggle you had. This one being either reinforced, does not have as much rust, or it gives way easily under your thieves' tools and it unlocks.
I just look over to Thalgar and do not wallow so much, friend. Failure is a part of life, and I'm sure you will fail again.
Maybe we just take turns.
Shall
you
we?
want me? Do you want me to go first, or
I believe that was the order in which our party had arranged themselves, but if we would like a new order, then
I will meet Shield into the room?
As you push the door open, you almost gag as you have that similar reflex. Give me a Constitution saving throw. Easy enough. You muscle through this stench of rot and decay, and you find yourself in this room. The walls silent, a shadowy chamber stretches out before you, thick with the weight of time and the faint scent of dust and stone. Your eyes drawn to large stone jars along the walls of the room. Standing about, well, nearly as tall as a regular man, but likely a foot, 6 inches shorter than you, Thalgar. Surfaces are smoothed, carved from some ancient weathered stone, capped with fluted lids that add an air of mystery. There are several of these jars lining every 2 feet around the room. The tops fitted snugly and securely, guarding some secrets within. Etched with a faint, or at least undecipherable hieroglyphics that you've seen on the monolith earlier. They pulse with a faint, dim light, adding to the quiet tension. The silence here is palpable, pressing in on you as you stand in the doorway, and the room itself almost holding its breath, save for the ghostly light that emanates from the walls. The jars stand there in their solemn vigil, contents unknown. What happens now?
this is a curious room. Is this common on your plane?
I don't think there's anything common about this place. Why are these walls glowing?
So walls glowing are strange. That is
Can anyone read these runes?
I mean, I would assume that they glow so that we could see. But, DM, can anybody read these runes?
Does anybody have the ability to read, comprehend language magically otherwise?
I mean, I can read. I cannot comprehend language magically.
I was elected to lead, not to read.
What language are they in? Do we know?
They're runic hieroglyphics. Likely you don't know. They're not a specific language, so you would not be able to read them. There's no
Are they
ability
similar
to
to the
read them.
ones? You said they're similar to the ones on the monolith, right?
Correct.
So I would know that they are from that Catalonian Empire then.
Yes.
Yes, these are the markings of that desert empire. I believe it's Cataloy was its name. What the markings mean, I was never able to read about. Perhaps that's in a book I had not yet gotten to. Probably open one.
You sure? This place
Are we
stinks.
It does have very distinct aura of decay and death. Quite comforting.
Do all the markings match on each jar? Or are they different?
Yes, they do. They are exactly the same.
Are we gonna push the red button?
Well,
I mean, there's no
mean-
point in going home empty-handed, right?
all right, everyone stand back. I'll open one. And I will try and open the one on the left.
This one here?
Yeah.
All right. As you reach over and you open one and you start to twist the lid, all the other lids twist in time. And as you open it, you hear the faint sounds of a beehive or a hornet's nest or flesh-eating scarabs. And we will roll initiative once we get back from break. Let's take 5 minutes.